Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Lisa, and this is Michael and Lisa White YouTube channel.
Yes, it is. Most of us have heard the saying, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never hurt us. Do you think that's true? So guess what we're going to talk about today? That's right, the power of words. We were told as kids all over the time, doesn't matter what they say to you, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
I'm so disappointed in you.
You're just like your mother.
You know, if you don't change, I'm gonna get a divorce.
If you keep doing that, you're gonna be a loser.
Why don't you just shut up?
Why don't you just shut up?
You are not my father.
And you are not my mother. You will listen to me because I'm the authority here.
This is my house. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Have any of you ever heard this?
Don't bring your home life to work.
I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate you telling me this, but you're not getting paid for your opinion. You're getting paid to do your position. Just go do your position and be quiet.
You're not getting your numbers in. If you don't get your numbers in, we're gonna have to find someone else.
Is everything okay? Because last month you didn't do so well. You don't seem like yourself. Is something wrong? What's wrong with you? Why do you act like that? Don't look at me like that.
Nora Roberts is a New York best-selling author. In her book, Jewel of the Sun, she says, words have magic, spells, and curses, and some of them, the best of them, once said, change everything.
Have you ever said something that flew out of your mouth and wish you can reach for it and put it back in?
Oh, yes.
We all have done that. Words are like filters. They can tell you a lot about someone. Are they trustworthy? Are they negative? Are they friendly? Are they actually for you? Are they for themselves? I'm sure we all heard the phrase, you can never make a second first impression. That is so true. We all know that perception is reality. What someone perceives, it's their reality. What someone perceives of you, that's a reality, and that will follow you. That's called a reputation. Your reputation will follow you as an individual personally, in your relationships personally, in your relationships professionally. If someone speaks very highly of you personally, when you're introduced to that person later on, they already have a preconceived idea of how you are. Now, if you show up the same way that someone highly talked about you, it's great. But if you show up differently, it's going to smash that perception of you. Same thing as when your job. When someone talks very highly of you and you switch departments or they meet you or you're going for a better position, they have a great idea about who you are, what you bring based on what someone has told them. It could be great chemistry they may be looking for, communication skills, the ability to take accountability. All those are very important. So words do have meaning.
Words can also be used against you. Maybe you don't say the right thing at the right moment. It's so easy to do, and then a paradigm shift occurs and you kind of got your foot in your mouth, but now the person who's hearing you is always going to have a preconceived idea of how you are. Maybe they look at you now like a liar, or you're always guilty. You're just not living up to what they expected you to be. And they're always going to think of you that way, even if it's not the truth.
Words have so much power. When someone says something to you and they ridicule you, they may be talking for 2 minutes about all the good things you're doing, and then they say, but what about that? We all stick to that part. Everything before but, we kind of eliminate. It's just a natural thing that we do. Now, we all have things that we need to improve on. But when someone talks to me personally, and they say something like, you did a great job, but you need to really focus on this. They skimmed over the great job and really are focusing on the negative. A lot of the books I've read, a lot of the things I've heard doing personal development states that you should always work in your power and manage your weaknesses. And I've looked at that and I've really practiced that. What do I hear though in most positions when you have assessments at the end of the year? It's what you're doing negatively. They expect you to do your position and do your job, but they want you to raise things up. They want you to raise your negativity things up. I understand that, but it doesn't make you feel good. So watch what you say to someone else. Words are like weapons. You ever tell your kid, you ever look down and tell your kid something very negative, and they're so happy to see you, hey, look how I cleaned my room up. You're like, you did a good job. Yeah, but what about that? See, you're highlighting the negative. You ever talked to a friend? You ever talk to a coworker? You ever sit there and be upset, and your words can strike like a weapon? We all know authority figures in our lives, or bosses, directors, or anyone out there. If you work if you're a cashier at a retail store, you all experienced people who use words as weapons. Just little things that just cut just a little bit, and you feel that. I remember something that my dad said to me. It has stuck with me all these years. In my senior year of high school, I didn't kind of fit, so what I did is I studied and I took a test, and I got my good enough degree. A good enough degree is called a GED. Good enough to move on, because I was in a hurry. A lot of times I have a weight problem. I just didn't feel comfortable. In the military, we moved a lot. And so in my senior year, we moved back home, but I felt out of place, like I didn't belong. So I thought, let me just get this part of my life over with and move on. So I took the test, I passed, and I joined the military. I remember when I came home, and after I took the test and after I signed, I told my dad and I told my mom that I'm joining. 3 days later, I was gone. My dad looked at me and said, it's about time you did something with your life. I was 17, 18 years old. It's about time you do something with your life. That has stuck with me till today. I do my best not to pass that on to anyone else.
Now, your words can also uplift, empower,
Yep.
encourage,
Yep.
inspire,
Absolutely.
motivate.
Absolutely.
So your words do have power. Here's some great examples.
Each and every day, you're getting better in every way. You just take it a step at a time.
I am so proud of you. You are on the right path.
You're doing a good job. Just keep it up.
Yeah, you're gonna fall, but you pick yourself back up and you're learning from your mistakes, and I haven't seen you make that mistake again.
I know it's hard, but if it was easy, everyone would do it.
So we're going to share with you 3 tips on how you can use your words for positive reinforcement and use them in the right way.
Tip 1, choose your words carefully. For those people who have this in their mind, I just say what's on my mind. I just like to be brutally honest. Do you really have to be brutally honest? Do you really have to hurt someone in honesty? Isn't there some empathy, some compassion, maybe a softer way to say it? And I'm saying this from experience, because I used to say what was on my mind all the time. And it wasn't always correct. I didn't take into account other people's perception of me or feelings. I just said it. That's just how I am. You just got to deal with it. That is lame. They also say think before you speak. How about this? How about pause? Pause. Filter your thoughts. Think about how you're going to say something. Just take a minute. Pause before you speak. Another personal development is increase your vocabulary. That's so important. My vocabulary at 18 through 21, 22, 28, 29, 30 was mostly filled with 4-letter words and how I expressed how I felt. I had 2 emotions. I was either ecstatic, happy, or I was angry, or I was sleeping. That's really the only 3 places I lived in between 18 and 30, 31 and a half. So I had to start working on ways to increase my vocabulary so I can increase how I felt. I can express myself better. I can actually pause and look in my brain, my library, for the correct word so I can identify and then verbalize what my thoughts were in a more constructive, productive way. That is all important. Finding words to describe things like excitement, like I'm excited. And now we're going to go to tip 2.
Tip number 2, watch what you say to yourself. What are you doing with your personal self-talk? Are you beating yourself up? Are you lifting yourself up? That is so important, what it is that you say to yourself. Are you saying negative things like,
I can't do it.
This is tough. God, I'm so stupid.
People won't like me.
I'm just not smart enough.
People do not care what I think.
I can't learn this.
I'm just not pretty enough.
No one in my family has done this before.
Nothing is ever going to change.
So when that happens, you need to catch yourself in the act and change it immediately. Start saying a positive self-talk instead of the negative.
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna get it done.
I know I made a mistake, but I learned a lot from it, and I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
My mistakes are not tied to me personally.
Even though I'm afraid to do this, I'm gonna face my fear.
So many people have done it before me, I can do it too.
I am strong, capable, and loved.
I cannot control what other people think of me, but I can control what I think of myself.
So make sure that your self-talk is positive. And when you catch yourself in the act of saying something negative, change it right then. Don't wait.
Another word for self-talk is your internal dialogue, what you tell yourself. Tip number 3, reserve certain words for special occasions. Around our house, a lot of times, we have raised our son and we told him thousands, probably
Millions.
hundreds of thousands of times throughout his life that we love him. That we love him. We love him. We love him. Now, he says he loves us like he says hello. Like, love you guys. I mean, about 25 times a day. So we had to sit and go, wait. That's a very special word. I got in trouble as a young man by saying I love you to other females just so they would keep dating me. And I learned that that is such a serious word. Do not say that. And so I learned that lesson.
So you can find other words. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I'm thankful that you're in my life. Find other words that express how you're feeling besides love and reserve that for a special time.
And that's why it's also important to increase your vocabulary, learn how to identify and verbalize and find different ways to express how you feel towards different people. Because I'm not going to tell my boss or my partner in a business that, hey dude, I love you. Not going to do that. But I did learn throughout the years that it's okay to tell one of my best male friends that we've been through a lot together that I love you, man. And it's okay. But I reserve that. And I reserve that for only my girl too. Right? And very special friends that are girlfriends, that are friends, that we've spent decades together and we know each other. I don't just throw that out there. Another word you don't just throw out there negatively is, I'm disappointed in you.
Oh, yeah.
You reserve
Ouch.
that. You reserve that word. When the time comes, you reserve it. You don't just throw it out there. You don't just do that.
So you hear the disappointed a lot when it comes to your children. What you hear a lot when it comes to relationships is the divorce word. So that's not a word you want to throw around lightly. Especially in today's society, it seems like that is so posh and easy to say. It just comes right off your tongue. But that's not something that you speak lightly about. You don't just throw that out there like, God, I just can't stand our relationship right now. We're just going to get a divorce. I'm going to divorce you because I'm unhappy. You know, that's something you reserve for if you are really struggling and having problems or issues with your relationship. You're going to reserve that for that special time. You can use other words like, I'm really struggling with you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of unhappy.
Yep.
I wish things were going better between us. We need to sit down and talk. But you don't bring the big D word into every conversation.
Another word is passive aggressive is then what are we doing together? That's very passive, right? Basically, you're not saying the D word, but you're kind of hinting that we should separate, right? That's got to be very careful on what you say. If you're about making things work, then be about making things work. If he doesn't make you feel good, or he's not taking care of you, or she's not doing this, you know, you have every right to leave, because there's other fish in the sea. So you get to decide if you want to make things work or you want to break things down. Remember, words have meaning. They're powerful.
So remember, hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel.
Keep working on the inside. It's an inside job.
That's right.
And keep cultivating your no surrender mindset in everything that you do. We're Michael and Lisa White.
Until next time.